so much, but I've always wanted a partner to be on the same wavelength, and so today I can't. I really didn't get into politics, or like I didn't get interested until Trump took office and George Floyd.
I'm like kind of ignorant towards that stuff. Like I didn't vote in the last election. Like as long as I don't know, it's not gonna, do much. So
That is so annoying.
I'm sorry.
So George Floyd, that obviously hit home because George Floyd happened in Minneapolis. What are your thoughts on Black Lives Matter?
Like I'm not one way or another. I just kind of keep out of it.
I don't like those answers.
So one thing I would say about this, there are two sides of this. The lady is very concerned about politics, and there is a good side and a bad side to that. You can get too ingrained into politics to the point where you cannot have a life. But the other extreme is not caring at all, which is what the guy has. And that is a big issue for a man. You have to be able to take a stance. Whether that stance is popular or unpopular, you need to have a stance. She asked your opinion concerning something. You need to have your own opinion. Because you cannot live your life or have a marriage of anything goes, as long as I don't put my mind to it, I don't really care, it doesn't affect me. The amount of danger and the amount of issues that will fall on you, it will shock you. So there are many people who have different opinions, and me, I don't blame anybody for whatever opinion they have. I have my own opinion concerning the organization and the movement. To me, the sentiment is valid. The organization is not valid because those people are thieves, and the movement, to be honest, it was started in a very bad light, rather by bad actors. So sentiment good, organization bad. So that's my own opinion. So if you have another opinion, that's your own problem. I don't care. If you don't like my opinion, you are entitled to that. But the main thing is have a stance. If people are going to hate you for that, let them hate you for that. You cannot live your life being scared of what people will say. I'm not saying you don't have concern. You have concern, but you have to have a stance. You cannot not have a stance as a man, especially for your wife. The woman that you people are married, you are marrying, and your culture is not the same. You don't have the same political views. If you are marrying someone that supports Black Lives Matter and you don't support Black Lives Matter, you are in trouble. If you are not in support of Black Lives Matter and you are marrying someone that is in support of Black Lives Matter, you are in trouble. You guys are looking for trouble. You have to have a stance. So I will say the lady is right for ending the marriage, but my question is, why did they have to get to the altar for it to be ended? It's, well, better late than never, though. At least they avoided a divorce, but they didn't need that spectacle of getting to the altar. You could have ended it weeks or months before time. Okay, I get that it's a TV show, and some of these things I think may or may not be scripted, or her advisors in this TV show probably told her to wait till the last moment to make sure that she gets it out, or maybe the time frame is too small. But the main thing is, I try not to blame the men too much for things that men get blamed a lot for, and find the other side also. But in this particular aspect, the man is to be blamed. He will need to have a stance. And apparently, Ali found another update to this matter, and it made my concern even more glaring. So let's watch it.
We've got an update on Ben from Love is Blind, the guy who was left at the altar by the progressive girl because he said he doesn't know how he feels about things like Black Lives Matter and the vaccine. Somehow things got even worse for him at the reunion.
Issues that came up was the issue of gay marriage, and there was a particular time in your time together where you said you couldn't remember your church's stance on gay marriage. Was that true? You simply couldn't remember, or was it maybe that you just didn't want to acknowledge the reality of your church's stance on gay marriage?
Yeah, it was honestly that I didn't remember because I didn't ever need to know. Because there wasn't really anyone in my life that it really pertained to, and it wasn't something on my head, and I'm not proud of it. It's something that I was, as I grow older, I knew I needed to grow into. And so that's probably why, and I try to go to church every weekend, don't go every weekend. So, sermon that Sarah watched, I don't remember because maybe I wasn't there, or maybe it just didn't, hit home to me because it wasn't something that was in my life at the time, or whatever it may be.
There's nothing worse than a cowardly man. This is the kind of man, if you put in charge of something where you need someone to be decisive, you will all be in trouble. This is a Christian, quote unquote, going to an environment that he knows these people are against everything I stand for. And he does not prepare himself on the stances he knows they will attack him. Guy, some people will get problem. At least meet your pastor and ask him his views on some of these things. Whoa. So this is not me. Wow. As a Christian, you don't have a stance for this. Well, in a way, I don't blame him fully, because most of all these churches are wishy-washy. But I think based on what I heard, his church is a little firm on this stance. And he himself did not know that his church was firm on this stance, and the lady was able to find a video of his pastor being stern. And he doesn't know, and he's the member of that church. Hi! But the fact that Christianity has gotten so watered down in the US to the point where Christians don't want to offend anybody. They are scared to be stern where God has been stern, and try to accommodate everybody. It has produced men like this man, because even there are some pastors that will shame him for being stern and not accommodating in this particular aspect. But this is another tangent. Let me not get into that tangent. But the main thing is, this man has no spine. Although I don't agree with the lady's politics, but she did the right thing. This lady, you probably wanted a man that was liberal like you and accepted all of these free things and queer things. And this man did not qualify for that. And based on her own requirements, she's right to drop this man. This man has no stance on anything. These are the worst kind of people to deal with. They have no stance. And you with a stance, these particular people will fight against you. Even if on paper they say they are in your community, they will fight against you because you are not loving enough, or you should not care about all of these things. These are things you are supposed to be caring about, because what if she wants to have her children go into this lifestyle, and tomorrow now you start crying that, oh, my wife wants to indoctrinate my child into this lifestyle. She was honest from the onset, but you as a man, you had no stance and no spine, and you don't even have any. Man, this is more than unprepared. We're supposed to be salt and light, but this man had a chance to be salt and light on TV, and he didn't do it. That is to tell you, being nice as a Christian doesn't work. You have to be honest as a Christian. You have to ask yourself this question: who do I glorify, God or man? Do I appease men or do I appease God? And every Christian knows the answer to this question. So I don't think he's a Christian. I think he's a churchgoer. So for a churchgoer, I think this is a normal stance for him. But a Christian, I think he mentioned somewhere, if you watch the video till the end, that he doesn't go to church frequently. That this particular Sunday that this message was preached, he wasn't around. That's a very flimsy excuse to give. A very flimsy excuse. You didn't go to church. At least you should have live streamed the church. Where did you go to? You traveled out of the country or what? And you attended another church. The fact that Christians can even be proud of saying they didn't go to church, it's a painful thing, to be honest. But the main thing is, this man, in short, men, please don't be like this. Please don't be like this. If you have a stance, stick with that stance. Say your stance. Not that if you see correction, you don't take correction. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying at least have a stance on something. Don't be okay being like, I don't know and I don't want to know. It's fine to acknowledge that I don't know, but I would like to learn. That one is different from not I would like to learn because of face value, not that one, but you truly want to learn and hear the other person out, and also go and do research on your own end, and then come to your own conclusion. But to be okay not to know and thinking that as long as I don't care, it doesn't affect me, you are being stupid. Very stupid. So men, please, don't do this. Don't change your position based on the people around you. Don't change your position because you want a lady to like you. Don't try to be all-encompassing. It's impossible. It's impossible. There's no stance you can take in this world. Not one that you will not be hated. Not one. It's impossible. You either take the popular stance of the media, or you take whatever stance that comes out of truth. Whichever one, at least have a stance. If you don't have a stance, how can someone correct you? If you don't have a stance, how can you improve? In short, if you don't have a stance, how can you not be manipulated? You can very much be manipulated very easily. So please, I'm not talking to the ladies here. I'm talking to the guys. Have a stance on something. Don't be wishy-washy. Don't be middle ground. Don't be third way. Anything third way, avoid it. Have a stance. Have a stance and move from there. Doesn't mean your views won't have union with some things, some points, maybe left or right, whatever this thing, all those left or right stuff, there is validity in it. But you should know that there is left wing and right wing politically, and that left wing and right wing politically can be different from left wing, right wing culturally. It can also be different from left wing, right wing in the church. Someone that can be conservative politically might actually be left wing in the church, as in Christianity. So sometimes some people say, oh, I'm a conservative. But if you go and look at their lifestyle, it is no different than a pagan. And some people will be like, oh, in my views, I am conservative. And they support almost every nonsense that the world supports. So at least have a stance and own it. Own it. This is what I believe in this sphere. This is what I believe in this sphere. This is what I believe in this sphere. And let's dialogue. Let's debate. Have a stance, man. Please. Have a stance so that people can pin you in where you are and you can defend it. Don't be wishy-washy. If you are wishy-washy, your children will not respect you. Your wife will not respect you. The people around you will not respect you. Please. Please. I hope this video blesses you. I hope to see you next time. Support the channel. We're too young. We're too young to die. Support the channel and get us growing daily. Share the video to someone that you know is wishy-washy. You know that person. Share the video to that person. And let's go. Let's go.